welcome back to my channel. So we're going to be doing a massive freezer prep of different curries. So we got 3 different curries I'm going to be making today. We're going to do an Indian butter chicken, I believe it's like a Malaysian style satay chicken curry, and then just a little slap together chicken coconut curry. So I did do a little prep work last night. I'll insert that footage now. So when I do meal preps or big batch cooking like this, I like to get absolutely everything out. This isn't everything though. I have thought like peanut butter I don't have out, but majority of the stuff is all out and ready. This is the butter chicken we marinated last night, and we're going to start with this. So I just got 2 baking trays here. I'm hoping that I can fit it all on the 2. It's a kilo worth of chicken, each different curry. I've got a kilo worth of chicken, and I'm just going to pick up the pieces and just lay them out in the baking tray. I got my oven preheating at 180 degrees Celsius, fan force. And once we get this all laid out, this will then go into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. So 2 trays of chicken now going to go into the oven. And I'm going to put the timer on for 20 minutes. So I've got my pot here on a medium to high heat. I just added in about 50 grams of butter and a couple of tablespoons of oil. I've got some onions that I pre-chopped yesterday. I'm just going to do roughly about like 1 onion worth of onions. And I also got some garlic and ginger, so I'll add in some of my garlic and half of the ginger that I done from that piece. So probably like a good tablespoon of ginger. And we just want this to melt down and get all nice, softened and aromatic. And while we're waiting for the onions to soften down, I've just turned on this pan onto a medium-high heat as well. And I'm going to dump in one of the packets of chicken thighs, which is again a kilo worth. And I am going to season this straight away with salt and pepper, so about a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of pepper. And this chicken here, this is going to be the coconut curry chicken I think we'll start with because it will be the quickest. So now back into the pot with the buttered chicken for the sauce. We're going to add in 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of cardamom, 2 teaspoons of garam masala. 2 tablespoons. The cumin and the cardamom were tablespoons as well, 1 of each of those. I don't know if I said teaspoon or tablespoon. 2 tablespoons of coriander ground and salt and pepper, about a teaspoon of each. I've also turned the heat down back to medium rather than medium high, so I just turned it down just a little bit. And I might add in some more oil. I'm now going to add in 700 gram jar of passata, so it's just like tomato cooking sauce. And I would normally use water to rinse out my jar, but because this is going to be freezer meal, I don't want to add in any water because it will just crystallize. The water will separate and crystallize while it's in the freezer. Well, not crystallize, but like, you know how ice cubes are just chunks of water, frozen water, if that makes any sense. I'm actually going to add another 700 gram jar of passata because I got double the chicken and double the seasoning, so I should do double the tomato. I didn't think about that, so lucky I had one in my pantry. And now I'm going to turn this heat down to a low to medium, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more. And while I'm waiting for everything to, like the chicken to cook, this capsicum's such a weird shape. But yeah, while I'm waiting for everything to pretty much the chicken in the oven to be done and the chicken in the pan to get cooked, I'm just going to be chopping up the veggies for the coconut curry chicken. So that will have onion, garlic and ginger as well. But I also do want to add in some capsicum and zucchini. So I'm just going to get these all chopped up into like nice bite-sized pieces. And now back over to this sauce. It is splattering absolutely everywhere, but that's fine. I might just turn it down a little bit lower. I'm going to add about half a cup of cream, and then once we add the chicken, we will taste and adjust if it needs more cream or any of the other seasonings, but not straight away when we add the chicken. We'll let it all simmer together for at least a good half an hour. And while we're here, I just thought we'll stir this chicken. And now back to this side, I'm going to prep the zucchini in as well by chunk pieces. And I'm going to add that to a separate bowl because the capsicum will take longer to cook, so that will go in first. And then we'll do the zucchini after. So they are now prepped. The last thing I've got to prep is some lemongrass, and the lemongrass will be for the sauteed chicken curry. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to take out the outer peel of the lemongrass, cut that off, cut the end off, cut it into more reasonable sized pieces, and then slice them lengthways. And now you can definitely eat lemongrass. The fact that we're going to be letting it simmer for a little bit, it's definitely going to get nice and tender, or because it is quite fibrous, you can definitely take it out. And now just with my meat tenderizer on the smooth size, I'm just going to bash this up a little bit. Ooh, the oven's just gone off. So it's been in for 20 minutes. That is looking so good. So I've just turned the oven off. I'll just give this a quick mix. So there's a lot of juices. We want to add all of these juices and all of the chicken into this pot. Yum, it smells amazing. So I'm just giving this a really nice stir. I kind of feel like, just judging by the color, I've added in too much cream. So I'm going to try and get as much of this tomato out, just to balance out the color and just to take away some of the creaminess. I mean, I could be wrong. I could taste it and I might need some more cream, but I'll just try and get as much of this jar stuff out as possible without adding in any water. And this is essentially the butter chicken done. All we need to do is let it simmer for a minimum of 1 hour and then just taste and adjust in a little bit. And back to this chicken, it's just cooking up slowly. I'll just give it another mix. Just pretty much when I'm back over here, I'll just give it a mix. And as you can see, the butter chicken sauce has splattered quite a lot over here. So while it's still soft, I'm just going to give it a quick wipe just so I don't need to use any elbow grease later. Like, I definitely will spray and wipe everything down once I'm finished cooking, but if I just wipe it up now, then I don't need to scrub it later. So yeah, I definitely am a clean as I go kind of cook. I even got all sauce splattered here, but that's fine. Alright, so now I should hopefully be able to finish the prep, which is the juice of 2 limes. I should have brought 3, I needed 2, but these are so hard. So hopefully we can get a good amount of juice. Actually, this one is softening up quite a bit now I'm rolling it. This one didn't really. Ooh. And the limes is for the satay curry. I mean, there is definitely a good amount of juice, but I would have preferred a little bit more. I would have preferred maybe closer to a 1/4 cup worth of juice. So yeah, because the limes were so hard, I kind of did wish I went with 3, but never mind. Right, so now everything is prepped, I believe. Alright, so now with this chicken, so this is the coconut curry chicken. I'm going to add the rest of this onion because that's probably like not even a, you know what, I'm going to add some more from the freezer. So I want in total about 1 like medium-sized onion worth of onion, which I didn't keep enough fresh, but that's fine. I'm just glad I got some chopped in the freezer. As well as half of this garlic, so I don't know, probably 6-ish cloves worth of garlic. And we're just going to get this all mixed and just wait until the onions get a little bit soft, and then we'll add in the rest. And as you can see, there is quite a fair bit of liquid in this pan, so I'm going to get some drain. And all I'm going to do to drain it is just push everything off to the side, tilt the pan, and I'm just going to use a spoon. I got a mug here, as you can see, just to scoop out some of the liquid. I am going to lose a little bit of onion in this process, but that's fine. I'll try and not get the onion pieces. And I probably want to get out maybe about half of this liquid. So I'm going to add the capsicum and let that cook for just a couple of minutes. And now I'll add the zucchini and let that cook for a couple of minutes as well. And what I'm doing in between is just going to get some dishes done and just put away the things that I've only needed for the butter chicken. And I don't need any more for the other recipes, just to clear up some space and just get everything kind of slowly back to normal again. I do have my dishwasher full of dirty dishes. I don't want to put that on though, just because I hate the sound of my dishwasher running in the background of my videos. I am trying to be mindful of that. Sometimes it's just a habit as soon as it's loaded to turn it on. So I'm just going to be hand washing dishes as we use them like throughout today while we're doing this big batch of cooking. Alright, so now shaking up some coconut milk. I can feel this one's liquidy. It is cooler today. I feel like this one's kind of solidified a little bit. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong. If it does come out chunky, it's just the temperature has just made it back to a solid. So yeah, you can see this is kind of lumpy because it was starting to solidify. I basically just put my temperature right back down to low. So now it can just simmer nicely. And yeah, if you can see that on the top, it's because it has solidified. So, but like I said, if you ever get coconut milk and you don't generally cook with it and you're like, why is it like this? It's perfectly fine. I'm just gonna whoop. So we'll just melt this down and get it all mixed, and then we'll start with the seasoning to turn this into a curry. So for with the seasonings, I want a tablespoon of coriander ground, a tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of smoked paprika or any paprika, a tablespoon of chicken stock powder, and 2 tablespoons of curry powder. And same thing just with the butter chicken. Once this simmers away for a minimum of half an hour, we'll then taste and adjust the seasonings if we feel like it's missing something or need a little bit extra of something. But for the most part, this should be pretty good. And just gonna, now that everything's in the pot, just gonna cover it with a lid and let it simmer away. And before I forget, this is the equal I was talking about, which is just a sweetener instead of sugar. I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon. But of course, if you can just have regular sugar, just add regular sugar. Man, the smell is incredible. Alright, so we just got done playing a game of musical pots and pans with the curries. So the butter chicken is now in a bowl. I'll show that in just a moment. And I now got the coconut curry in this pot because it just wasn't simmering in that pan. That pan's no good to simmer in. Plus I want to now start, now that the butter chicken's done, I want to start frying off the chicken in the pan for the satay curry. But I feel like this is not enough liquid now it's in this pot. I only got 1 spare coconut milk, so I'm just going to, thank God this one, you can hear it's liquidy. I'm just going to add in half of a can because then my assumption is now, because I need coconut milk for the satay chicken curry, that I'm probably not going to have enough liquid for that either. So there's half a can in there. And this is just gonna have to do. But now it's in this pot will be on a medium and hopefully it will simmer up quite nicely. If we were making this fresh to eat the whole lot, I wouldn't have worried about adding in more. It's just purely because it's gonna get freeze and frozen in separate bags. So I'll pop that back onto low, pop the lid on and just let that keep going away, and we're gonna start frying up chicken for the other curry. Alright, so with the satay chicken curry, I just done pretty much the same as the coconut curry chicken. So I added in the chicken, seasoned it with salt and pepper straight away, just about a teaspoon of each. Let it go to white, and now I've just added in about enough onion for a medium-sized onion chopped. The rest of the ginger and garlic, which was about a tablespoon or so of each, plus the lemongrass stalk as well, all went in at the same time. And we're about to go on to the next step with this one. Except I just tasted the coconut curry chicken and I think it needs a little bit more curry powder. So I'm going to add probably another tablespoon worth. And I think that's all this one needs extra. So I'll mix this in and let it simmer for a little bit longer. But this is almost done. Alright, so the seasoning for this one, we want about a tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of paprika, a tablespoon of coriander ground, 2 tablespoons of curry powder, and only a teaspoon of the ground chili powder. And this is a hot chili powder I have as well. If it was mild, I would probably do a tablespoon, but because it's a hot one, just a teaspoon. And we'll do a tablespoon of chicken stock powder as well. So kind of similar to the coconut curry base, but obviously we've got the lemongrass and the, what's the other thing, the ginger in here. Now this has been frying off for a couple of minutes. I'm going to add in some peanut butter. So this is the peanut butter that I have that I use. It's a natural type of peanut butter. You can use absolutely anything. You can use craft peanut butter or just whatever you have. So I'm going to add in the peanut butter, about half a cup. And we just want to get this melted down, and then we'll add it in the coconut milk. Alright, so 2.5 cans of coconut milk is going to come in. We'll mix it to combine. And once again, it smells so good. I love it. I absolutely love the aromatics when making curry. Now that's all mixed, we'll add in that lime juice. So that was juice of 2 limes. I would prefer more about 1/4 of a cup. That was probably a little bit less than 1/4 of a cup because my limes are quite tough. But that's all I have, so that's just what we're going with. Mix it again. And thinking about it now, I definitely could have added some capsicum as well in this curry. I think that would have been quite nice, but I only had the 2 small ones which I had in the other curry. But you can definitely add any kind of veggies that you would like. The heat for this one's currently on medium, so we're going to, man, I just realised I used the wrong bloody spatula. Oh well, that's fine. The heat is on medium, so I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. Now we'll cover it for the lid and just let it simmer. Alright, so we got the butter chicken here in this big old bowl. And then this one's the coconut curry. This was just my lunch that I had to wrap and put in the fridge. This one's now all finished. I actually kind of forgot about it, but it's all fine. And yeah, to simmer it, I just prefer it back into this pot. So now what I'm going to do, because I don't have any other bowls, is to wipe up my mess and just let this cool on the side on the stove where there was no heat. So I just want these to come down to not so much room temperature, but definitely a lot cooler, and then we'll pop them in the fridge, and then later tonight we'll separate them in the freezer bags for individual servings. Alright, so it's been a couple of hours. I got 2 cauliflowers out, and all I'm going to do now is make rice cauliflower. So I actually haven't done this before. I'm just going to chop off this yucky spot and get rid of that. And we'll chop off this stem. I have eaten it, and it's fine. Obviously this is just the keto friendly way, and although I'm not keto, I am trying to be lower carb. So, and it actually tasted quite nice. So how am I going to do this? I guess I'm just going to start with chopping this by half, and we're going to keep this fresh in the fridge, and then when after a few days, whatever's left, I might chuck it in the freezer. I'll probably blanch it before the freezer. But I'm assuming all it is you want it to be very fine, kind of like rice. So yeah, I don't really know, to be honest, but this is just what I'm going to be doing. Alright, so I just got 1 cauliflower rice in this container, which is filled up. This is going to be plenty for tonight, plus the next couple of nights fresh. So then what I've done with the other cauliflower, I just quartered it, and I will blanch that after dinner, let it cool, and then I'll rice it, and then this way I can chuck it in the freezer straight away. So now what I'm going to do is start tea tonight. So I'm going to heat up some of this buttered chicken, just enough just for tonight. Yum. So I want enough for 2 people. And this is a good temperature now too to bag up to freeze. So I'll do that probably as soon as we finish eating dinner. And with the satay, oh wow, that smells so good. With the satay curry, I'm going to heat up enough just for 1 person. So Nick's mum's actually coming over. She was coming over just to visit, but I'm like, we'll be having dinner. So I just, because I obviously made a lot, I offered if she wanted some, which she said yes to the butter chicken. So that's why we needed 2 for that. And then yeah, Nick will have the satay chicken. So I'm going to put both of these curries on a low to medium to get that heated. I'm going to pop this one on a medium to high heat with some oil. And how I cook my cauliflower rice, which I don't know if this is the right way or not, it's just how we done it. It's just oil in a pan, and we just fry it. We have the lid on to help with that steam. Actually, I need a lid for this one. So yeah, we do put the lid on just to help it steam up a little bit, but otherwise we just fry it. Like I said, I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be done, but it works for us. But the only thing about doing it this way is the cauliflower soaks up the oil. But it should be alright. Right, so I thought I'm going to start with the coconut curry chicken to freeze. So I just got these sandwich bags, name, date, and all I'm going to do is just turn it inside out, just the top bit. And this just helps to protect the seal. So if I were to spill or drip or whatever, it will, for the most part, drip on the actual plastic here rather than on the seal. And then it's just like, it doesn't matter if it goes on the seal, it's just annoying because sometimes it won't close properly and then you got to wipe it up, etc, etc. So it's just easier to do it this way. Plus, as you can see, the bag stands up nicely once it's folded over as well. So I thought I'll just start with the coconut curry chicken while I'm waiting for everything to heat up. I am just stirring it occasionally. And then after tea, I will do the other ones. Just in case if I haven't heated up enough, I'm not too sure. Then that way I can just quickly chuck some more in a pot and get that all heated as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm just scooping out the zucchinis just because there wasn't much of it. And I'm popping one zucchini in each bag, just so then I know each bag will have at least a piece of zucchini in it. And then I'm just going to do a scoop of the chicken and whatever other veggies come with it, and then I'll come back through with the liquid. So I definitely did make a spill, but I did use my cloth to try and wipe up, and I did get some of the seal, but it should be fine. And because there's obviously lots of liquid in the bag, all I'm going to do is just press it down to try and squeeze out the excess air. And that should be fine like that. And then to freeze, I will just lay it flat, just like how I generally do. And there we go. So I'm just, yeah, gonna, just for now though, I'll just leave them sitting up here until I get them all done. You can see here I've got quite a lot on this seal. I'm just gonna use my cloth. This is a clean cloth. I've only just used it to wipe it from the bench, and the bench was clean, so I don't mind putting this cloth in for the seal here. So almost all the way, and push down for the air. Alright, so it's now the next day. I got all of my curry individual servings all nicely and bagged. So what I've just done is I've just taken out the satay curry out of the freezer and put them in baggies. The coconut curry is already frozen and the butter chicken is frozen. I did try to lay them flat. I used this Pyrex dish, a square Pyrex dish, to try and help lay them flat, but it ended up falling over the dish. So yeah, the flatness kind of didn't work, but that's fine. But I didn't have enough room in my freezer inside to freeze all of them flat, but now these are frozen. These can all go outside. And now these ones can go in the freezer inside to get frozen. And in this dish, so last night I had a serve of butter chicken, Nick's mum had a serve of butter chicken, Nick had a serve of satay and he loved it and he wanted a double serve of dinner last night. So he ended up having 2 serves of the satay chicken. And I got a butter chicken in here for Nick. I got a coconut curry chicken each for Nick and I. So I actually have to add in a satay chicken for myself because I haven't had that yet. So yeah, tonight we'll have curry, like one of these fresh curries. I reckon I'm going to do the coconut chicken and then I'll see what Nick wants, and then tomorrow I'll have the satay and Nick will have whatever he doesn't have tonight, he'll have tomorrow. And then yeah, now we got all this curry for in the freezer, which is great. So in end, it did make 8 serves of satay, 8 serves of coconut curry, and 8 serves of butter chicken in total, which is great. That's what I was hoping for, so I'm glad that's how much we got of each recipe. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe down below so you don't miss out my future videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!